So surds 4 root 2 plus 5 root 2. With surds you don't use a calculator. So you get 4 of them plus 5 of them. 4 root 2 plus 5 root 2. 4 plus 5 is 9. There's 9 root 2. Okay? 7 root 2 minus 4 root 2. 7 minus 4 is 3. So you get 3 root 2. You can't take the square root of 2, but you just add up the numbers you have of each one. 13 root 7 minus 7 root 7 equals 6 root 7. Okay, you can't take the square root of 7, but there's 13 of them minus 7 of them. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 equals 6 of them. Okay. Okay, example 12, okay, that is equal to, how to take the square root of this, equal to 4 times 3, okay. Okay, but the indices rules that I showed you before, that is equal to root 4 times root 3, okay. We know the square root of 4 is 2, so it's equal to 2 root 3, okay. Square root of 20, okay, equals square root of 5 times 4, which equals the square root of 5 times the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2, so it equals 2 root 5, okay. Square root of 450 equals the square root of 45 times 10, okay, which equals the square, 45 is also 9 times 5, okay, 9 times 5 times 10, which is equal to the square root of 9 times the square root of 5 times the square root of 10, okay. Well, the square root of 9 is 3 times the square root of 5, but this can be written as the square root of 5 times 2, okay. So square root of 5, 3 times the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 times the square root of 2, okay. Just elaborate. The indices rule for that is x the what am I doing here? Mine's going to square root of x is y. Square root of xy equals xy to the power of a half. Okay. Each of those is the power of 1. So using the rule when you have something in brackets, the power of I can't explain it. So if you have x to the 1, y to the 1 half. Remember the rule when I said x to the n all to the power of y, so is equal to x to the n times y, okay? Well, if that's m, x, n times y basically, n times this power. So x to the 1, y, 1 half equals x to the 1 times a half is a half, y times 1 times a half is a half, okay? Which equals the square root of x, the square root of y, okay? That's why 450 square root becomes square root of 45 times square root of 10, which you could write as square root of 45 times the square root of 10. Okay, so when you've 2 root 5s, okay, because it's the same number, the powers which are halves, 3 times 5 to the half, 5 to the half, root 2 by the industry rule, okay? And so it's 5, because the numbers are the same, you can add up the power. So half times a half plus a half is 1, okay? So you get 5 to the half plus half root 2, which equals 3 times 5 to the power 1 root 2, okay? 5 to the power 1 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15 root 2, okay? So the whole thing, for square root of 450 turns into 15 root 2, okay? Okay, so just to elaborate, yeah, 5 to the power 1 is 5, I mentioned before, that's that entity rule. And what else was there? Oh yeah, when I did 450, because the square root of 45 times 10 equals the square root of 45 times the square root of 10. Okay? You could write it like that, but I chose to actually break it up into 9 times 5 is 45 times 10, but you could write it like that as well. Okay? So this is the introduction to Surds. We haven't quite got into what Surds are really used for in Nat 5. So if you have square root of 20 plus 5 times 4 is 20 plus the square root of 12, okay? How does that simplify? So square root of 20 is 5 times 4 plus the square root of 12, which is 4 times 3, okay? That can be reduced to the square root of 5 times the square root of 4 plus the square root of 4 times the square root of 3, okay? So square root of 4 is 2 root 5 plus 2 root 3, okay? And you could even take out common factor. So that's 2. So you 2 and then bracket root 5 plus root 3. Okay? So the square root of 20 plus the square root of 12 can be simplified down to 2 times the square root of 5 plus the square root of 3. Or 2 root 5 plus 2 root 3. Okay? Do you want to try the square root of 72 and square root of 18? Okay? And square root of 20 plus square square root of 45. Okay, what does that equal? What does that equal? What does that equal? Okay, all right, pause, and then I'll give you the answers. So you have square root of 72 equals square root of 9 times 8 is 72. Square root of 9 times the square root of 8. Okay, which equals 3 times the square root of 4 times 2, which equals 3 square root of 4 square root of 2, which equals square root of 4 is 2. Okay, which equals 2 times 3 is 6 root 2. Okay, so the square root of 72 is 6 root 2. Did you follow that? 9 times 8, square root of 9 times square root of 8. Square root of 9 is 3 times 4 times 2 is 8. Square root of 4 times square root of 2, and then 3 times 2 is 6, square root of 4 is 2, and then square root of 2, so 3 times 2 is 6. Next one, square root of 18 equals square root of 9 times 2. I could have used 6 times 3, but you can't take square root of 6 or 3. So pick 9 times 2, okay? Square root of 9 is 3 root 2, okay? And then last but not least, square root of 20 plus square root of 45 equals square root of 5 times 4 plus square root of 9 times 5 is 9 5s are 45. 9 5s are 45. Okay? Which equals square root of 5 square root of 4 plus square root of 9 square root of 5. Okay? Which equals square root of 4 is 2 root 5 plus 3 root 5. Okay? And then 2 of them plus 3 of them, 2 root 5 plus 3 root 5 is 5 root 5. Okay? So yeah, hope that's clear. So this is using, again, just the indice rules I told you about before. You can play the video of indice rules as well as this one to understand it better. So yeah, you need to put effort into practicing this stuff. Watch the videos over for indice rules, surds. Practice problems, ask me questions. You can't just do this once, you have to practice a lot. I've seen, I might come across to you like I can do this well, but I spent many hundreds of hours when I was younger practicing maths. I spent dozens of hours in the week practicing it over many months and years when I was doing my school exams and then went to university. I spent a lot of time on this, okay? Everybody you speak to who's competent and skilled at this will have spent hundreds of hours practicing it. I saw a girl on YouTube